My parents just got their house blessed today here in Hawaii, and it was so beautiful to watch this kumu, this Hawaiian native teacher and spiritual leader come into the house and do a clearing. And I hadn't seen this since I had done my Hawaiian healing training back in must have been 2016, 2017, something like that. And it just reminded me, I still have my tea leaf around my wrist, that your spirituality is such an important part of who you are, and your spirit has no defined physical form, right? That's the whole point, is that your spirit is beyond you. It's beyond the physical. It's beyond your human. It's the infinite cosmic part of you that may have lived many, many lives. And something I thought that was so special and beautiful is that she looked at me during a part where she was sharing about, we were going to be doing it in silence as we walked around the house, and she blew into her shell and she did her chant, her oli, and everybody was just quiet. And she asked us to do that because back in the ancient Mu time and days, which is believed to be the original Hawaiian lineage, the origins of them, everything was unspoken, and that we were able to communicate telepathically. And so she said, please, let's go back to that and be in silence, and we will be able to communicate with each other as needed. And I was like, oh my God. And I like felt it so much. And I don't know what I did in that moment. I think I just kind of stood there and maybe smiled, and I like looked at my dad. And she looked at me directly and was like, I can tell that you have a deep connection to this lineage, and that you have that in and of you, the Mu lineage. And I was like, fuck yeah, first of all, because yes, like this is something I resonate with deeply. And again, this is the tattoo I have, which is of that lineage as well. A message, aloha ma, meaning self-reflective love. And I just can't even emphasize how much resonance there is when she's speaking and chanting and sharing. And she even went around the land and talked about the medicinal properties of all of the plants, la'au lapa'au, which I studied, and I was able to even fill in the blanks. And it's just so special to have that feeling of, yes, I remember. Yes, 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 I resonate. Yes, yes, I know this. Like, it's like when she brings things up, even if I've never heard them before, it's like a part of me remembers, a part of me knows. And my teachers, I studied with two different teachers, one named Kumujina Ibalani Nalawai and another one named Keoni Hanalei, and both of them here in Hawaii were deeply, deeply of the mind that it doesn't matter what body you're in or where you're from in this lifetime, that your soul has probably had the experience. If you connect with it, it's because you've probably had that experience in another life. You probably are of that lineage in a different life, even if it's not your blood-born ancestry. And that's always confusing and interesting to me, because it's like, okay, I'm literally just a white girl, which is so whatever. But yeah, like there's certain things in my culture I identify with or resonate with, but not that much. I've always felt really drawn to Hawaii and actually Latin culture, a lot of indigenous culture. I studied Chumash Native American, with Chumash Native Americans out in Ojai. And it's really just because I was so curious and I followed the curiosity, and it felt like, yes, like this is yes. And I'm sure some people feel like that with like church, you know? I'm sure people feel like that with whatever their thing is, like, and that's great. Like, I'm really all about, there's no one size fits all, there's no one size fits you. But for me, what I love so much about the Hawaiian and Mu lineage of spirituality is it's all about nature and connection to yourself and the land, and that the land really, really brings that deeper connection with self and spirit and God, Keakua. And the elements, I have that tattoo. I got this when I was 18, which is like a Wicca symbol, or satanic, which is not why I got it. Relax. And like, I don't know, there's probably misinterpretations on that too. But the point is, I got it because it means earth, air, water, fire, spirit. Every point of the star means something about the elements. And we are of the elements. It's just like the only thing that makes sense to me is that we are of these natural elements. And that's really it. Like that's all it comes down to. So how cool to be in reverence and connection with that, and to have chants and songs and dances, which is also another thing that I really believe in, the human expression of those things as activating in the way, you know, she's chanting and you can feel it in her heart, like this literally like resonance. I keep using that word, but in her heart, it's so deep. It comes from this place. And if you haven't heard Hawaiian chanting, like, go please feel that. And there's so many different cultures. I know in Africa, chant, dance, movement, there's so much where when you hear that, it brings you to a certain place. And I think all of us can remember that when we're listening and we're feeling that together. So I know that we all have to come with reverence to the cultures that aren't ours, and especially the cultures, and I say aren't ours because yes, they're not ours, and I did the air quotes because, but we are all one human species. And that's the part that I just want everyone to remember is no matter what skin you're born in, if you can come with reverence and it resonates deeply in your soul, how can that be argued? You know, be respectful. Know that yes, you didn't come in the body that is the origin of whatever lineage you're so deeply moved by, and learn, just be humble and learn. And that's such a big key cornerstone of the Hawaiian culture too, is humility. And yeah, if we can just be humble and learn and connect and be open, and I think that's what it's all about. But your soul remembers, your soul knows. And that is the lineage that speaks to me. That is my spirituality. I always say, like, I never felt I looked, by the way, I searched. I had lots of extended family that was super religious and they were all Christian, and I felt like left out because my parents like were just kind of like spiritual-ish, and I wanted to fit in like with my cousins. And I remember they gave me like a teen Bible, and it was like a decode like thing where you would like look at the letters and you could like, I don't even know, just like about God. And I wore a cross around my neck and I started listening to Christian pop. I like really wanted to not only fit in, but a connection with God. And that was the one format that I had at the time. So I was like, sick, like that's what I want to get into. But it didn't resonate with me. Like, no offense if it does. It's not me like saying anything bad. I'm not talking shit about God, okay? Like, relax. It was just it wasn't my form and flavor and format of connection to source and my spirituality, which is really what it's all about. I found that my flavor of spirituality was this Hawaiian lineage. That was like, oh my God, they're speaking my language, the language of my soul. So what speaks the language of your soul? Is it a certain culture? Is it a practice? Is it, a blend of things? That's the other thing. And I still have a blend too. I've studied Ayurveda, I've studied, different Vedic roots, and so Indian culture, Taoist culture, all different kinds of forms of meditation from different Buddhism. And, there's so much out there, and you have to find what fits you. So maybe you found the perfect fit. Like the closest for me is of the Mu Hawaiian lineage, but I still blend and mix and match some other things that resonate and speak to me. And I think we all have to go on that journey of self-study for our spirituality. And I guess we don't have to, but to me, it's one of the core essential dimensions of self. Actually, it's not just mine. There's a whole study by an institute on self-care and holisticness, and the 4 dimensions of self were mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. And that those with a spiritual practice are 30% less likely to become depressed or anxious, and if and when they do, they're 30% quicker. I might be getting this a little off, but they get out of it like 30% faster because they have something greater to believe in and connect to. And to me, it's just being holistic in your whole self-care. Like, you're leaving your spirit behind if you're not addressing those parts of you. To me, also, your spirit is the part that leads you. I believe your spirit is here to lead you everywhere, and that it's always trying to push your human into new realms and expanses, whatever those are for you, just showing you through the sheer joy and curiosity of it. It's gonna tell you, oh, come this way. And you'll get that through that pull of like interest or excitement or something that keeps you up at night, because you just literally like, you have to go on that trip. You have to go do that thing. Like, that is, to me, the spirit talking. Everybody has their own philosophy, but that's mine. So that's what I wanted to share today. There's so much more, but yeah, I think just staying connected to your spirit, understanding who and what it is, learning the language it's speaking to you, and following the pulse. Holo holo, follow the pulse. That's the Hawaiian word, and practice of doing so. And it's one of my favorite things in the entire world. And it's led me everywhere I've ever wanted to be. But that's just me. And that's just me. Thanks so much for coming along. I felt like a Disney Channel, like 2000s. And that's just me, guys. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you have the most beautiful day, for real. And I'll be making videos every single day. But that's a little about my spiritual practice, my spiritual faith, who I am, what it means to me. What about you? This is an open space. What resonates with you and why? I'd be curious. Drop that in the comments. And subscribe if you want to follow along.